Percy fire away, and then we'll go to Jeff Brown.
Awesome, thank you. First question for like NECA. Hey, this isn't just for tonight, in just terms of the 29 points in the first quarter there, but in these past two games, are you seeing anything in particular, at the start of the games, and what do you, I guess, attribute to the slow starts?
I would probably attribute it to our posture, our posture starting the game. I think that um, we could have we could have a posture that's a little bit more forthcoming, a little bit um, more competitive. I think we have our schemes down. We know what we got to do when we go out there, but definitely changing how we approach the game, I think, is something that could really help.
And then is there anything to the aspect of, it was just a grueling stretch, right? I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of it, 9-game stretch, seven of it on the road. You're at the end of a 3-game road trip. You kind of see this from like time to time that, like just maybe the fatigue sort of sets in, or was there any eye towards what's coming up ahead with this 9-game homestand as well?
I mean, I think, everybody has their moments in this season when you have to kind of be road warriors. I think that's something that's unavoidable. How you respond and how you show up in those times is important. And I'm looking forward to a nine game homestand, but that's also not a guarantee. It'll give us time at home. It'll give us time to look in the mirror and to look at film. But at the end of the day, we still have to come and play and win these games against some great opponents.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you.
Jeff Brown, go ahead, then Christian.
Yeah, for either of you, I know obviously Jackie Young wouldn't be either of your primary responsibilities, being that she's a guard. But kind of what did you see out of her? Like, what was she able to do today in this game?
I mean, she's a great player. I think she was able to get to her spots, but I think on the other end, like we didn't make it tough for her, especially in the first half. She got going, and I think she is, like all of us, a confidence player. So when she sees the ball go in, she's going to keep attacking, keep being aggressive. And although she isn't our primary matchup, I think it takes a team. So I think we need to do a better job of getting back, building a wall defensively, helping out the guards, because we play defense as a team. So it's not one single person that had to guard Jackie. But like I said, credit to her. She's a great player.
Yeah, definitely. And then for NECA, your partner over there did have a very good game, 19 points and 13 rebounds for Ezzy. Talk about her performance, and also Jordan gave you 18 and 6 off the bench today, their performances.
Actually, they're both my partners. They're both my accountability partners. So we are aligned always. I'm not surprised each night by how Ezzy plays. I think it's also amazing to know that we're both free to be aggressive how we want, and to supplement that with Jordan coming in. And I mean, each game she's just getting better. I tell them all the time that they're the future of this team, but they can build that future right now. And so I'm grateful that I get to play with them, I get to learn from them, I get to empower them, and I think those are two good performances tonight that we can build off of.
Definitely. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Christian, go ahead.
Oh, Nick and Ezzy. Over the last two games, coach has said that she feels like the defensive effort, the temperament of it has kind of been based off what has been going on the offensive end. Really just speaking as far as efficiency and really just utilizing the entire shot clock, running plays and things of that nature. I was just wondering, would you be able to speak to that over the last couple games?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we are flowing, when we're able to get, transition points, that's kind of where we are able to kind of build off. Our defense is our offense as well. So I think, whether it is getting later shots in the shot clock or, pushing in transition, it definitely, I guess, needs to be more of an offensive focus. But I think when we are playing defense, it kind of comes second nature to us. You know, we don't really have to think about the shot clock or think about, you know, where the ball is going. It kind of just flows and comes naturally to us. So I think, you know, these last couple of games, it's been our defense. So offense, we're not worried about offense, it'll come. I think just really hanging our hats defensively.
And NECA, when the news of charter flights were first announced, you were originally asked how would that impact the team and really just kind of recuperating after being on the road. And, you know, 7 of your last 9 games have been on the road. So I'm just kind of wondering, you know, how has charter flights helped the team? How has it helped you in recovery and just everything as a whole?
I mean, it definitely, it alleviates the amount of time that we're traveling. It reduces the days that we have to be on the road. So even though we played in Phoenix on Sunday, we were home for about a day and a half. We went home, practiced at home, came in yesterday. It really just, it's life-changing, and it's also a reason why we'll be able to sleep in our beds tonight. So I'm grateful that that is something we can experience with 40 games and half of them being on the road. And there's nothing much else that I can say about it besides I'm grateful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bella, and then we'll go to Jordan.
Thanks for the time. Question for both of you, but particularly you, NECA. You obviously won a WNBA championship with Chelsea Gray, and she returned to the, she played her first game this season. Just wondering sort of what both of you see her as bringing to the Aces, and how she affects how they play and how important it is for her to have them, and you know how they play compared to when you beat them the last time you played.
I mean, I think she's the brains of the operation. You know, you can just see how she's able to put people in different spots. I've had experience playing with her in that way. And it's not something that you take lightly. It's something that you really have to be prepared for. You know, they're a different team with and without her. And for them to be able to deliver in the way that she's able to put them in spots is also, you know, it's symbiotic of the relationship that they have with her as a point guard.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bella. And then Jordan, wrap us up.
Hey ladies, Jordan from Television Sports. So my question is for Ezzy. Another great game. We've seen you taking your game to a whole nother level this season. And of course, you're currently leading the league in blocks per game. I guess just talk about, you know, some of the things you were hoping to improve on this season and then what you worked on in training camp to become a better player.
I think probably just consistency. I think, you know, great players are consistent, and I think in order for me to, you know, be helpful for this team this year, I knew we were going to be, I guess, like relatively new. I knew I was going to have to show up for my teammates, and I think, you know, no matter if I score the most points or get the most rebounds, I think it's a matter of just being consistent and steady in my game. So that's, you know, defensively for me, I think when, you know, offense isn't going my way, I can definitely help my teammates in other ways. So just being consistent. In terms of training camp, we didn't have a lot of time, but I think just, you know, being quick to build that chemistry with NECA, with Sky, with Tori, with the newer players, but also the older team as well. So yeah, I just wanted to show up for my team this year and still building on it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, lady. Appreciate it.
Thank
We'll
you.
have Coach in here in just a minute. All right, we're here with Coach. We'll go ahead and get started. Percy, start us out. We'll go to Jeff Brown after that.
Awesome. Hey there, Coach. Earlier you talked about the importance of matching Las Vegas energy and effort at the start. What did you see tonight, particularly in that first quarter?
You can see that. Thought that, you know, again, our effort defensively wasn't there to begin. You can't, you know, go down 13 points on the road to an amazing team. Defensively, our activity was low. 12 minutes of that first half, we had 1 deflection, and that's not normal for us. Jackie Young's too comfortable. Just a lot of defensive lack, in my opinion.
And then for like Jewel Lloyd, she had obviously a like tough night for her. Just haven't seen this from her. No field goal for the first time since 2022. The things that you're seeing from her during this 5-game stretch, and when she's kind of really struggling with her perimeter shooting, are what?
Yeah, a couple of things. It's, getting a feel for the game, finding some comfort for her. Again, she receives other teams' best defender. She's, gets top block, they're physical. So we just, trying to find a balance, of getting her in space in the middle of the floor, trying to get her some transition touches and looks. But defensively as well, she's taking on some tough assignments and that is difficult, that balance of that. So a couple of things, just, finding ways to get her going early is very essential for us.
There we go. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Percy. Jeff, and then we'll go to Christian.
Yeah, Coach, I know after the slow start against Phoenix, I know you talked about the emphasis on being better defensively and everything, and then how this quarter played out to open this game. Just kind of as a coach, what are your feelings, watching your team in that first quarter not bringing, kind of bring in the energy and effort?
Yeah, it's unacceptable. Energy and effort is something that we should show up with all the time, off of the strength of us being professionals. And, that's something that we shouldn't have to coach or continue to remind ourselves with. We have the proper energy, effort, the want to, the mindset. I think that we can compete against any team in this league, but if our mindset is not that, then we struggle. And it's not, it's across the board. It has to be 1 through 11, and coaches included. It has to be everyone that, has the mental fortitude and mentality that, we're going to get stops, whether it's KYP, individual matchups, being connected in our defensive effort. But, those things I shouldn't have to bother those things. We should show up with that, some intangibles.
And then on the positive, Ezzy had 19 and 13. Jordan had 18 and 6. I talked to NECA a little bit about them and their performances. She called it the future of the franchise. Those two players, and just kind of what did you see out of Jordan and Ezzy in this game?
Great activity, want to, energy, aggressiveness, a mindset defensively that they're going to be locked into their scout and live within in their number one roles. And just it's a great passion for being for playing this game. Honestly, the things that Ezzy and Jordan were doing with pace, a lot of those the deflections, and we talk about the energy that Jordan brings on a defensive end helped kind of spark a lot of things in the second half. As with Ezzy, getting the deflections, rebounds, and getting into the paint. I think what you're seeing is a testament to the work they're putting in and the focus that they want to have to be at their best for their team.
Definitely. Thank you, Coach.
Sure.
Thanks, Jeff. Christian, and then Roberta.
Hey, Coach. After a game like that, there's kind of something I did see in the second half that kind of got the team back into it. One of them was a 2-woman game between Ezzy and Jordan, especially kind of like right off the baseline, right near closer to the rim than they kind of have for most last couple games. I'm just wondering, is that something they've been working on in practice, kind of like diligently, and also the forwards really kind of showed up for the team today. At one point, I believe NECA, Ezzy, and Jordan had 47 points. And the team, the rest of the play only had 17. Just wondering, when a day like this, when the backcourt isn't exactly producing, what are you seeing from the front court, and how do you build off of that?
Yeah, to your first question, I think that's just what happens when we kind of move that ball to second and third side, and that is an emphasis. And so, if the first action isn't there, a lot of times our threes are on the back side. So Tori, Jordan, they're getting into third side, an ability to come off of a DHO or a ball screen. And Jordan has been doing an excellent job of getting into the paint, not only to create for herself, but for others. And yeah, that's a part of their PD work. That's a part of, our offensive flow when we get into that rhythm. And you're absolutely correct. I thought our front court showed up and were consistent and very efficient and played difficult. You know, Asia's a difficult cover, you know, and you kind of live with, you know, some of the tough contested shots, but I thought that they competed at the at a high level and they kept us afloat, honestly.
Thank you.
Alberto, go ahead.
Coach, considering Jewel's importance for the team and her performance tonight, and just after a really good winning stretch and now having two consecutive losses and then facing another tough team next, how do you help your team bounce back mentally to get back on the winning side?
Yeah, it's not going to get easier. But I think what helps this team is to disconnect and unplug. We're going to have a day off to get, you know, our minds, our bodies to where we need to be, and 2 really good days of practice. I think, you know, for a competitive group, for a group that needs to get back on track, it's about you know, it's taking a step away sometimes, recalibrating and coming back with a fresh set of eyes, fresh set of lungs. We got some, you know, we got some people who have to get, you know, recover and with their health a little bit. So take some time away, come back, get refocused, and get right back to it.
Thank you.
All right, Jordan, wrap us up.
Hey, coach. So one of the bright spots for you tonight was Jordan Horson. She gave you some valuable minutes off the bench. I guess just talk about that trust you've had in her these last couple of games.
Yeah, she's, we talked about this earlier, being a superstar in her role. You know, the energy that she brings off the bench is, you know, vital for, you know, our group. And she's very focused on her number 1 role, which is to make sure she's defending at a high level. And I talk about everything offensively becomes a bonus because of her skill set, because of her versatility, her height. She can get to the rim, her athleticism. She can finish over a lot of bodies, but also she's being patient offensively. She's not forcing. She's finding her rhythm and her groove within her spots and being exactly who we know that she can be. She's very focused. She's very locked in. And because of that, she's been very consistent.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll see everybody back in Seattle.
Thank you.